Carol Miller, and I'm Director of Moms That Care Services. I'm back for my second show. I'm here today to talk about what's been going on in the last couple of weeks or so and what I am still doing to move forward with my son's case, Norris Johnson, innocent man that has been locked up for almost 10 years now. And I also brought Mrs. Sharon Johnson, another mother that has experienced the same thing that I went through with my son. But I also have a guest here, to Mr. Bill Proctor, that has came out to show you what his involvement is and what his passion is. So first thing I'm going to do today is to let you know this is a nonprofit organization. We need you guys to, anyone that has a problem, that has an innocent member, family member, mother, brother, sister, whoever it may be, to give me a call at 248-796-1744 or Gmail me at carol.miller885@gmail.com. At the end of the show, I would go over another couple of the ways that you can contact me. I'm also a member at Emmanuel House Church. That is 6832 Southfield, Michigan, in Detroit, Michigan. That information will be at the end of the show, but I would like to now introduce you to Mrs. Sharon Johnson, who has experienced the same thing that I went through with my son being innocent in prison.
Hello. How's everyone today?
What is your son's name?
My son's name is Toriano Johnson, and he's been incarcerated for 15 years for a crime that he did not commit.
That is really a shame. And how long has he been there? 15 years?
Yes.
Oh, wow. And he is in there for, what is he in there for?
Murder.
Murder. Wow. And he's an innocent man.
Yes.
Oh, wow. I know that has to be heartbreaking, because I know what it feels to be a mother that have an innocent son in prison. But today we're going to come and we're asking people to come out and call me, email me, send me your letters, your information. Then we can even send a card out to your son, daughter, father, mother, whoever may be in prison. We want to get this message out for people to come together and to come and join together so we can get something on the books and make people accountable for putting innocent people in prison. Today we have Mr. Bill Proctor here that will give you some insights on what he's already doing and what he's in the process of. Thank God for him. Mr. Bill Proctor.
Carol, nice to be here.
Thank you.
We should tell your audience first that you and I came together on your son's case.
Yes.
That I did, in fact, spend some time with your son. I have reviewed the case, and indeed, your son most certainly appears to be innocent.
Yes.
This could be another case of Detroit police misconduct, but
Yes.
we will hopefully be able to advance your son's case to a place where at some point he will get a new review
Yes.
of the facts and quite possibly charge the person who's really responsible.
Yes.
So your timing for all of this is very good.
Yes.
All of Detroit, if not the nation,
Yes.
is looking at people walking out of prison after spending years, if not decades, in prison
Yes.
for
Yeah.
crimes they did not commit.
Yes.
And so right here in southeastern Michigan, especially with network coverage, very likely the world, we've seen a young man, now 23 years of age, his name is Devontae Sanford, walk out of prison after being behind bars since he was 14 years of age. Just now, a few weeks ago, Devontae Sanford was incredibly fortunate enough to walk out of prison, because this was an extremely bizarre case where this young man was set up after a confession was structured around him when, in his particular case, a known hitman, a man who had been paid thousands of dollars to kill a number of people on Runyon Street, actually admitted, just a matter of days or weeks after Devontae went to prison, that he was responsible. And at 28 years of age, he was most certainly much more capable and much more believable when it came to the statements that he made on this horrific crime. So Devontae Sanford is in fact the focus at this point for Southeastern Michigan, but there are cases like your son's
Yes.
essentially all over the country, and that's what we want to have people understand today.
That's right.
That it's not just young men, young African Americans here in Detroit and environs or around the country,
Yes.
but anyone can
Yes.
find themselves locked up for something they did not commit.
Right. And that's
So-
what we're fighting for.
All right. So, what is our next step here? What would you like to talk about? What else would you like to talk about?
Well, I would like for people to contact me so that we can unite. There's power in numbers.
Yes.
If we all unite and come together and fight for a cause so that we can make these people accountable for what they have done, taken someone's life, the separation of their families, to be locked up as an innocent person is horrible. You know, I want people to send money in to help to fight for these cases, so these cases can be brought and people can be brought to justice for what they have done to someone's life.
So yours is a 501c3 organization? So
Yes,
it's
yes, I'm in the process of getting my 503c. I'm right now I have the support of Emmanuel House Church. I'm in the process of doing that, and I'm looking for sponsors. God has opened so many doors, and I've had so many calls from the last show that I've been meeting with different pastors and different people, all walks of life, and a lot of different other cases have came forward. So I'm going to be bringing people in, and they will be able to tell their story, as well as Ms. Sharon Johnson, who met me over at Emmanuel House Church.
Well, people need to understand that the criminal justice system kind of plods along in its own little circle of power, influence, and control.
Yes,
The police are a part of that system. They have badges and they are sworn to essentially uphold the law and do what they're supposed to do.
correct.
People in the prosecutor's office are the next phase of what the criminal justice system is about, and they are supposed to review and analyze and trust what the police have to say about what someone has done, and they move that situation to charges. And from the charges, there usually moves to a trial, or quite possibly a plea, and a judge and a
Yes.
jury are supposed to be a part of that process. Well, all of what I just told you is in need of reform.
Yes.
All of what I just told you. Everyone watching this program and everyone in the United States needs to concentrate on claims of actual innocence.
Yes,
And I put it that way because there's no doubt that there are people who are convicted. There are no doubt there are people who, in a very bizarre fashion, confess to crimes, but those confessions come in sometimes very bizarre ways, where there is police misconduct
Yes.
involved
Yes.
in those confessions.
Yes.
So people need to understand that this doesn't happen in a vacuum, and that they can, in fact, participate by at least watching the process. If you get word that someone has gone to jail or prison for something that they didn't commit, and they can help you understand how they can prove they did not, they need to talk to you, and you need to take steps to let everyone in the process know that someone is watching. If someone isn't watching, it will simply walk down the road and there will be no changes. Let me introduce you to another case that's coming up here very soon. It is the case of a gentleman, his name is Lamar Munson. Now, believe it or not, when I was a television reporter 20 years ago, I covered as a reporter the murder of a young woman in Detroit on the west side. It turned out, instead of the teenager everyone thought she was actually 12 years of age. So Christina died in January of 1996,
Wow.
and Lamar Munson was charged with that murder. Understand, though, that many, many years later, I received information from a woman who was a really, really strong witness that she was actually with the killer that night. We found this killer in another state, and soon, as a matter of fact, we hope in the month of September,
yes,
a judge will hear new information about Lamar Munson's conviction. and hopefully hear from that witness, hopefully review new forensic information, that is, fingerprints on what is believed to be the murder weapon, to prove that someone else was responsible for this killing.
Yes.
And that Lamar Munson has been in prison for 20 years, once again, for a crime he did not commit. So these are all elements of possible righting the wrongs from prior.
Correct, because my son didn't have a voice,
Well,
Mr. Proctor.
not only not a voice, but your son has been in for 10 years.
Yes.
10 years.
No ballistic, no weapons, no, he was just literally railroaded to jail. The witnesses were not even there at the scene. These were brought about by a homicide cop that was actually in the courtroom. I really was just totally insulted by the whole thing. Never had to go through something like this, and I thought justice would be served because I know that my son did not commit this murder.
I too
And there
felt
are
the
other
same
people.
way.
Yeah,
And
there are other people
as
who
well
know
as
as
you.
well.
Yeah, I
That's
felt the
right.
same way.
And then we had no voice. I had just a team of sheriffs around me and my family, and we could not open our mouth. My son didn't even was not even able to speak when I spoke with the attorney. And I asked him, well, aren't you going to, say something about this young man that said that he did not understand English? Well, they bring our interpreter, let me tell you. Before the interpreter can even interpret what the prosecutor was asking him, he forgot that he didn't understand English. Yes, so he spoke out. So the courtroom laughed, but still, that did not free my son. The young lady that was a witness did not want to talk, so they put her in jail. And from my understanding, she was threatened, so I wasn't quote unquote, but I did send for, I asked for phone records and I asked for any tapes that they might have had during the trial. They said, oh, they no longer have them because they changed the system. But just to tell you how easy it is for someone to be picked up or stopped and coerced, but my son wasn't coerced. He did not plead guilty to anything. He didn't have a voice. So it went on from there to finding, going for an appeal. I went out and got the information, and I actually had signed statements from witnesses. Well, they didn't send them to the Supreme Court. Why? And then when I asked, they dealt with me during that time, going to the Southwest City of Detroit that I know nothing about, putting my life in danger trying to prove my son's innocent, and I give it to an appeal attorney, which destroys the evidence that I have.
But my son actually had a time card to prove that he was at work during the time of the murders.
And who did he work for?
I can't remember the name of the company, but you have the time card.
Right, and what?
And they would not even introduce the time card to prove that he was innocent. He had a witness that said that he was not a part of the murders. They
Oh
would
my
not
God.
even take that into consideration. They changed the prosecutor in the middle of the case. So there was a lot going on that proved that my son was innocent, but they would take none of that into consideration. So and he's been there 15 years, and he even has a letter from someone who actually knew who done the killings. So we also have that proves that he's not the person that did the killing. His nickname is Tito, and they said that some other guy did it, and all he had to do was be quiet and just stay the course, and that he would have came home like everyone else. But he was kept in a room for more than 3 days, not allowed to call anyone, not allowed to use the restroom, and was forced into a confession.
I would call that modern day slavery.
Right. And
But the
when
thing about it, what
he
we
asked
need
for
to
a Walker motion, he was denied that too.
Wow.
So we do have to know the law and know how it's done and how it treats our
our people.
our people, because it's not for us, and that whole process was just done not where it was affordable, not where it was not where it was on behalf of my son, and it just wasn't a good fit.
Right.
Well, it
And-
is an adversarial system.
Yes.
That is a part of the problem. The prosecutor and the defense in these cases are essentially going against each other, one trying to prove a point, the other trying to reverse, negate, or weaken the point made by the other side.
Yes.
And so what we just hear in these cases is essentially levels of police misconduct.
Yes.
If when they first arrested your son, and then to not allow him to come out to make a call to an attorney to talk to you, and then 72 hours later, he's weakened to the point where he signs a confession, that's misconduct.
They
That
wrote
is
the confession.
unlawful.
They
He
wrote
did.
it.
They wrote the
Oh,
confession.
wow.
Well, it's that kind of
Okay.
thing that we can cite over and over and over again. What started me down this road, and I'm an ex-police officer, by the way, so I can tell you that all of this is painful to me. But there is a man in prison right now. His name is Temujin Kensu. His real name is Frederick Thomas Freeman, but Kensu is now spending his 30th year in prison after going to prison for life for a murder, where he literally demonstrated with a witness that he was more than 400 miles away at the time of the crime up in the northern portions of the state of Michigan. Yet, he was convicted by a man who now sits on the federal bench.
Yes.
And by the time it's over, Kensu, after all these 30 years, is still fighting for his freedom. He was among my first extended deep dive cases as a reporter to reveal that there was misconduct here, that there was lots of questions about investigators, about witnesses, about evidence that was presented to a senior citizen jury, and a lot of people, by the time it's over, look at this case and say, this is another injustice. So over and over and over again, we hear the same kinds of situations where it is police misconduct, it is
Yes.
prosecutorial misconduct,
Yes.
keeping evidence out of the view of the jury or the judge or the next step that could, in fact, exonerate or at least call into question the charges against them. This is the kind of thing that happens all the time.
Yes. And we're going to continue to fight. And we appreciate you taking the time and the passion to help innocent people that are in prison, because it's really a shame for for people to be locked up and justice not be served on the ones that have committed these murders.
Right.
They're out. That's why we have so much crime in our city, because there is no true investigations going on. It's all about getting to the next step and making deals with innocent people's lives. That's why we have so much crime.
Well, what people who look at this and say, well, oh no, our criminal justice system is the best in the world, they may be able to make that claim, but folks have to understand that this is a human endeavor, that there are people in these various jobs advancing elements of law, arguing portions of law,
Yes.
and essentially walking through process and procedure where they are not doing the right thing. The structure of law may be the most wonderful thing on the planet,
Yes.
but if somebody's going to cheat, if somebody's going to lie, if somebody's going to structure out elements of confession or elements of evidence
Yes.
that simply are not germane to the case and unfair to the person being charged,
Yes.
with all of those elements, there is no way that justice can be served.
No.
Right.
So that's why we're asking everyone to start paying attention, to come out, send your letters in, send donations in, because people that have money have no voice. So we ask you for you to give me a call. I'll get back with you within 24 hours. I can lead you in the right directions and actually join us for moms that care services, moms that has innocent children, family members in prison because of the corruption in our court system.
Right.
I asked you, come and join me. Contact
Please
me at
join us.
at 248-796-1744, as well as my Gmail, carol.miller885@gmail.com. And you can come and worship with me at Emmanuel House Church. But there's all kinds of ways to contact me. We all have to unify. There's power in numbers. We can pray together. We can come and march together. We need to get this message out, and we may need to make our people accountable, because our lives matter.
Yes.
And I just think it's just a fair thing for everyone to understand. Sometimes these children have nobody. So today is just a day that I hope that I touched a lot of people's hearts, and I'm getting to your spirit. Here's a perfect example of what is needed to get these people released from prisons.
And Carol, can I say that when your child, your husband, your daughter, or family members incarcerated, you too are incarcerated.
Yes.
Because you have to adhere to their rules in order to visit your children. You can't wear but so many pieces of jewelry. They have reduced the types of food that they can eat, so we have to spend money to send boxes. They can no longer wear their clothes when they come out for a visit. They've had to send their clothes home. They've had to send their Bibles home, their Qurans home.
Yes.
So they've dictated how they can worship. So they're not only imprisoned, but they're enslaved.
Yes.
So it went from incarceration to being enslaved.
Modern day
So
slavery.
you may
Exactly.
not care to hear what we have to say, but if it's your child, if it's your family member, then at that time it'll mean more to you. So stand with us, please.
Everyone in Michigan listening to this program and beyond need to know that this can happen to anyone regardless of your status in life. Let me introduce you to the Giroux family. Just before I retired as a reporter from Channel 7, I did a story on Billy and Brian Giroux. These folks out in Jackson County essentially were facing murder charges and had their youngest son taken away from them after the tragic death of their daughter. And this was a child that clearly had a long history of health challenges and problems, had, at least on a couple of occasions, stopped breathing. And so what was going on with the child, despite the fact that she was getting medical care, eventually led to her death as she was sleeping at night. For some reason, the prosecutor in that county went after Billy and Brian Giroux and essentially wanted to walk them down the road of being charged with that child's murder.
Wow.
And called them murderers in open court. Well, by the time it was over, we started looking at the basis of the case, and there was a medical examiner who essentially made a misdiagnosis, a bad evaluation of what killed the child, and eventually, based on our stories and our exposure of the Giroux injustice, they got their child back. The charges were dropped. They never saw a day behind bars. But that was because there was early intervention. So everyone has to know that when somebody is being walked down the road of being imprisoned or jailed or charged for something they didn't commit, everyone around them that can help prove innocence needs to step forward early, because once they are behind bars, it is extremely difficult
Yes, it
to
is.
get them out.
Yes, it is. I've been fighting for 10 years.
I've
So
been
I
fighting
asked
for
you.
15.
15 years. He has cases for a man in 30 years. We all need to come together and unify. If you have a brother, mother, sister, whoever it is that might be in prison that is innocent, please contact me. At the end of the show, you will have all the information to contact me. And I thank you once again for tuning in to Moms That Care Services. Anyone else have anything to say? That
I just thank you so much, Carol. Thank you, Mr. Proctor.
you're welcome.
And I'm going to fight this to the end.
Well, I'm happy to be there. Let's hope that everyone has a chance to go online to look at the National Registry of Exonerations.
Yes.
And on that website, created by the University of Michigan Law School, there is a lot of information as to how people end up in prison for crimes they did not commit. The more you know, the more you can do.
Yes.
Education, education, education.
Yeah, yes. And these people that are innocent in prison, that's what my company is for, wrongful imprisonment. We want to send cards and either send food because the food is not even identifiable. They've taken the Bible out of the world. So they have nothing now to reach out. So we have to walk and we have to stand and we have to help these people. I thank you very much for coming on my show, Mr. Bill Proctor. I appreciate you educating us a little bit more, and we have to work together as one. So send your letters in. Give me a call. I'll get back with you. And thank you, Ms. Johnson, for
Thank
sharing
you.
your story. And then, we'll stay together and we're going to form a team. We're not going to go away. We're here to stay. Thank you very much.
What's up, everybody? This is your girl, Vicki Winans, and you're watching Bell Global Network.
My name is Mike Duggan, and I'm watching the Bell Global Network.
Hey, keep it locked. It's your boy D. Hattie watching the Bell Global Network. You know how it is.
Hi, I'm Charlie Langton, and you're watching the Bell Global Network.
Hi, this is Martha Reeves, and you're watching Bell Global Network.
Hi, this is Thomas the Hitman Hearn, and you're watching Bell Global Network.
Hi, everybody. I'm telling you, everything that happened to me that was good, God did it. I'm Evelyn Turrentine, AG, and you're watching the Bell Global Network.
This is Pastor D. Alexander Bullock of Preachers of Detroit, and you're watching the Bell Global Network.
This is Bishop Edgar Van of Second Ebenezer Church in Detroit, Michigan, and you're watching the Bell Global Network.
Hi, I'm Bernadette Stanis. You know me best as Thelma from the TV show Good Times, and you are watching Bell Global Network.
My name is Mike Duggan, and I'm watching the Bell Global Network.
Hey, keep it locked. It's your boy D. Hattie watching the Bell Global Network. You know how it is.
Hi, I'm Charlie Langton, and you're watching the Bell Global Network.
Hi, this is Martha Reeves, and you're watching Bell Global Network.
What's going on, y'all? It's Mr. Bell. Some know me as Antone Choirboy Bell. Others know me as Elder Antone Bell. I am co-CEO of Bell Global Network, BGN TV 2090. And I want to invite you right now to get your own broadcast. Calling all ministries, all politicians, all business owners. Get your own broadcast right now, starting at $99. And if you have an idea for a TV show, we can bring your idea to reality. We have packages available that includes production and facilities. Also, we have advertising packages starting as little as $25. So don't hesitate. Give us a call at 313-355-7877. Once again, that's 313-355-7877 and make an appointment today.
You never ever let me down, and when I'm sinking in sin, you never ever let me drown. You're my lifeguard, my security. You took my insecurities and put me in the lion's den and took out all the fear in me and gave me unlimited, undeniable faith. In your arms I am safe, and for that I give you praise. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. When I'm going through, I can still call on you, and I say, thank you, Lord. My soul says thank you. My soul says thank you.
What's up, everybody? This is your girl, Vicki Winans, and you're watching Bell Global Network.